Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name's Andrew Deek, and today got a bit of a different sort of interview, fully football. And Mantho Prokopi, how are you, my man?
Hello, brother. Hello. Thank you for the invitation. Good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I wish we did it back in November in Albania, but now we have more to talk about. Let's go about there. How did you get into interviewing, and how did you get into the media in Albania?
To be honest, the sport was the passion since the young age, and I tried. Always wanted to be on the TV talking about sport and being part of the sport. So I started it in the public television, not with sport. It was something more like family TV show. I started from there, and lately I found myself at sport after almost 4 years doing something else in the television. And after that, I got the chance to be in sport and especially, following the Albanian football, mostly a business superior, but also the national team, and also whatever it happened also in the big stages of the European and world football.
And let's talk about yourself. So the first time, what was the first memory? I know you're a Real Madrid fan, but what was the first memory you had? Was it Partizani? Was it Real Madrid? What was the first memory?
The first memory of the football, for sure it was Partizani. I remember it was a match between Partizani and Elbasani in the old Cemal Stafa. I remember we won that match 2-1. I don't remember the year at all. We won that. We conceded in the first minutes, and after that we managed to score two. And I remember the celebration. It was the first time I saw the Ultras Gueris in the stadium. They put up the flares after the second goal. I was in the arm of my father celebrating the second goal. So it was great. That's when I fell in love with the football in that way. When I first tried the Albanian football. Also, I remember that would be nice to say. I remember in Partizani when I became a fan of them. It was a difficult year for us. We fell in the second division. After that, in the third division. And of course, when you go in those divisions, you play with the team that are far, far away from the capital. And I remember not being able to go to the matches and see the matches, but I remember following them from a radio, and it was quite well different emotion because in the radio you don't see, you only listen, and you can hear the commentator screaming about the chance, but later it was not a goal, or later it was a goal. So you just had your heart beat a lot until you heard what happened for real.
And why Real Madrid?
Cristiano Ronaldo. From 2009, I remember in 2008 I was celebrating Manchester United Champions League win versus Chelsea in the pen. But when Cristiano Ronaldo came in Real Madrid, I was his fan for sure, and I followed him in Real Madrid, and that's where I fall in love also with Real Madrid, and I decided to stay with them even after Ronaldo left. So it's a team that for sure I love them the most because of the history and what they show in the pitch, and what when they play you feel that there is a team, a royal team. There is a team that know the weight of their jersey, and they know they should always give 100% for their team because and for the badge, because it's an historical badge that has legends, had legends, and for sure will have legends in the future. So only the weight of the badge and the jersey, it makes all the player give 100%, and this is why I follow this team. It's the royal team, the best team in Europe, even though some of them don't agree, but that's for sure.
15 Champions League speaks for itself, and Flore maybe doesn't agree. Do you think Barcelona have the league this year or no?
To be honest, they seems as a favorite as well, but the
Mm.
injury of Rafinha, it may be very difficult for them in those matches, because they have shown this season that without Rafinha or without Pedri in the starting 11, they are not the same Barcelona that we used to see. So starting from today with the match with Atletico Madrid, and if Real Madrid wins against Mallorca today, we will go just 1 point behind if things go as planned for us and for Atletico Madrid. So it will be wide open again because we have one El Clasico left. So if Barcelona makes a mistake again, and I expect for them to do, because no Rafinha, no party for them, we will be back in the league. And not forget, we got Jude Bellingham back, we got Mbappe back. So seems things seems bright for us, so let's wait and see. But I'm hopeful for the till the end of the season because 50-50 it will be 50-50.
And as someone who studies a sport and knows a lot, do you think Xavi Alonso was unreal at Leverkusen? Do you think it's too big a jump? Because you have it with players. Let's say Eden Hazard, legend at Chelsea, and Chelsea's a big club, but he went to Real Madrid and his career wasn't the same ever since. Do you think with Xavi Alonso it was too quick a step, or what do you think went wrong? And talk about having Arbeloa now.
It was not a too big step. It was the perfect step because you win Bundesliga without a loss, and in Bundesliga you play versus Bayern Munich, that is not a giant in Germany, but is a giant in Europe, and you end the season without a single loss. It means that you're a good coach. But the problem was with Real Madrid. What we have heard a lot is that you don't need to be a good coach in Real Madrid, but you need to be a good manager. So that's the idea. Real Madrid now prefers to get big players, but also not in the big ages. Like you have players like Bellingham, Vinicius, Mbappe, 27, 25, and they still got their ego big, and that was the problem. Everything was going fine with Real Madrid, with Alonso in the start. They beat Barcelona in El Clasico, and everything was doing good until Vinicius decided to start a mess out of nowhere, and that is where the problem began. So he lost the squad. Some of the players didn't like him because, as we read, because players said that he used a lot of tactic. He is very push. So if you are a player and you complain about a coach being a coach, it seems something very wrong for me. And this is what I don't like in this Real Madrid. For me, Alonso was the best option because he showed that he wanted to play some football, but the players decided not to support his idea, and that is what cost him the bench. But for me, it was a good idea to have a Real Madrid that plays with a plan to play football and not just like pass the ball in defense and midfield until Vinicius or Mbappe gets the ball and let them do the thing or try a long shot with Valverde. It was better to play football with a plan and with 2-3 options. But no, seems like Real Madrid want to play like more pass to Vinicius, pass to Mbappe, and that's all from them.
And let's talk about it there. Real Madrid this year is with Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. The top one is Liverpool, Paris, and then Arsenal, Sporting here, and then Barca, Atletico. What a great game! I mean, Atletico beat them in the cup this year, but can they do it again? And they play today. So, talk about it. Who do you see winning? And do you think Real Madrid, Barca final or no?
Uh, to be honest, I see it very difficult for Real Madrid to beat Bayern because it's one of the scariest Bayern we have ever seen. It's the team that scores a lot, and Real Madrid has shown that their defense is not the strongest point. So also Mbappe and Vinicius in the big games are not the same. For me, they lack a little. So I think Bayern will go further than Real Madrid. I hope I'm wrong in this one, but that's what I predict, to be honest. And also for the winner of the Champions League, based from their road, I think one of Barcelona or Arsenal will go easy till the final, till the semi-final, where probably they will face each other. Only if Atletico Madrid does a surprise, but in 2 matches, I don't know. I think Barcelona will do it better in a Champions League. So if I will go for a winner this year, I will go with Barcelona because I think last year they got an elimination quite
Mm.
unfortunate with Inter, and I think this year it will be the redemption time. So plus coming from the idea that they won La Liga last year, they won a lot last year, and maybe this year they don't go 100% for La Liga. Maybe this year they will go more 100% in Champions League. So Barcelona for me seems one of the favorites to win it. Also, I don't know, one of Bayern or Paris. Bayern seems good as well, but it should be see if a final is between Barcelona and Bayern Munich, it will be the best final possible for me. Both attacking football, a lot of goals to be predicted. So I hope it will be a final Barcelona Bayern Munich, and I think Barcelona will win it.
As a neutral perspective and someone that lives abroad, what do you view Arsenal this season? Because the last 3 years, Arsenal, in a term we use in England, they bottled it and they didn't manage to win the league from being ahead. Then they finished second. Do you think Arsenal has the league this year? And do you think they are one of the best teams in the world, or it's just hype and it's just too much talk?
For me, it's done. For me, they got the Premier League because this year, unlikely like the years last years, is not the same Manchester City that used to win every match and put pressure on you. This year they make a lot of mistakes, and Arsenal is the same, maybe even better. So is an Arsenal that win matches. It's an Arsenal that plays good football, and for me, is an Arsenal that will win the title this year. About in the world, for sure, one of the best teams because also the corner, the famous corners goals. So one of their strongest points. So and also one of the teams that have shown that plays good football. So if you think other big teams in Europe playing beautiful football, it will be like Barcelona, Bayern Munich. What else? Italian clubs no more. So it's Arsenal for sure, one of the best for me, and plus with Paris Saint-Germain. For me, for sure, Arsenal is one of the best, and the Premier League is theirs this year.
And let's talk about it there. For me, one of the best Champions League finals I remember, it was heartbreak because I love Atletico, I have to be honest, I do. But 2014, Atletico Real Madrid, and we'll get onto it in a minute. But I want to say, since 2018 onwards, Liverpool in the final. 19, Liverpool in the final again. 20 was Paris Bayern Munich. City Chelsea in 2021. And obviously, you've had more English subs. Do you think since people use the term here since VAR, since Ramos couldn't do anything anymore. But do you feel English football has become on the rise, or do you think the level has dropped in Europe?
It seems like it has dropped a little bit, but always the Premier League is like the top league in the world. So we always expect from you the best. We always expect from you to be the champions, and you have always delivered. You have always delivered to do good in the Champions League, in Europa League, in UEFA Conference League as well. Always your teams, maybe they didn't win it, but always your teams were there in the semifinals, in the finals, being a big problem for Real Madrid, being big problem for every big team in Europe. So for sure, English football is one of the best, maybe the best. For me, is the best because not only you have got some like two big teams, and that's it. You have got like 10 big teams playing there, and that is the most favorable thing from you because you have a lot of teams to be competitive. Even Tottenham, that this year is going to relegate, it seems, but also Tottenham showed that did good in the Champions League, finished in top eight. Don't forget that. So even when the team is relegating from you, is good at least in the league phase. So for sure, one of the best leagues, in my opinion, the best league. But in the Champions League, they need to be better. They need to be the champions. But do not forget, because you have got a lot of good teams in the Premier League. Your big clubs spend more energy in the Premier League compared to the clubs from Spain, Bundesliga, Serie A, because they have the luxury of resting some players when they play against Getafe or Wolfsburg, But you don't have the luxury to rest when you play against Crystal Palace away, when you play against Wolf that is in the last place, but still take points from Liverpool and from other teams. So that is the most beautiful and the most bad thing from your championship, because we have a lot of surprises with also small teams. But for you have to play 100% even when you should rest for the Champions League.
For example, a team I saw when I went to watch Atletico in 2021, Osasuna. Do you think when a team in Spain like Osasuna beats Real Madrid, compared to when a team like, let's say, Wolves beat Arsenal, beat Liverpool and draw with Arsenal and their relegation, do you think in England it's not a surprise anymore because the level is always there? And it's the one thing about and the beauty about English football, where in Europe, if a small club, let's say, I don't know, even bottom of the Bundesliga beats Bayern Munich, do you think it's a shock to Europe? But in England, it's normal to us. It's not a massive shock. It's something cool, but do you think it's more, not to say embarrassing, but do you think it's the levels are different and it's more surprising that a small club in Europe beats a big club in like Real Madrid?
Yes, for sure, because you know in Spain they are two super teams, Barcelona and Real Madrid that have the money like almost all the other 18s. In Germany as well, Bayern Munich is a giant and no one come close to them. In Italy, it's more like Inter, Juventus, Milan, and in France, Paris Saint-Germain is a giant as well. So when a small team defeats them, it's like a miracle because you don't expect that. But in England, you guys have a lot of, even though you have a lot of clubs with big stars, but you also have the physical football that the other leagues don't have. So you have the possibility to block all the big teams by playing a lot more physical football, and that's does what does not surprise us when Wolverhampton gets points to Liverpool or to Manchester City, because it's more close and it's more physical football. In the other hand, all the other leagues, it's more like tactical. It's more like if you score one goal, all the team will go park the bus. The English football don't have that. You know, you play more physical, you play more sprints, more aerial duels. So that's also true that you don't get a lot of surprises if a small team defeats or draw with a big team, but we enjoy it a lot more when you do that than when in Spain or Italy happens that.
And for example, do you agree with the term top six in England? So top six meaning Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, City, Liverpool. And like I say, if I was to go to Germany, I'd say Bayern and Dortmund, that's it. I could put Leverkusen there and I could put Wolfsburg and Schalke, historically big teams, but no one puts them in the giant teams with the money. You could do the same for Italy with Milan, Juventus, Roma, but even Fiorentina can come up and down. Do you agree with this term? Because it was a term made about 10, 20 years ago on the clubs that had the big money. Because when I grew up and when we grew up, it was Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. Chelsea were most recent, and then City and Tottenham as well. Do you agree with this term? It's like in Albania to say the big names. You only get selected for the national team for the big names. Do you agree with this, or do you feel like it's a term that's completely pointless and it kind of ruins football, like the Super League? Remember?
No, I agree. I agree 100% because they are big top big 16. You know, they are when they compare Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, and what else? So they are big names to play, and they are also every club that we mentioned start the season and they want to win the championship without even starting the season yet. So those are the big names because they start to be the champion. The other teams may be surprises, maybe dark horses, but of course, for sure, there are some big names and big six that it stands from the Premier League. For example, in Spain, you only got two big names, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and one of a middle more difficult team like Atletico Madrid. The others are all the small teams. For you know, in Germany, you only got one big name, Bayern Munich. Because if you would think they are two big clubs, it will be impossible to think that one of the big clubs sell all their best players to the bigger club, like
Mm.
Dortmund does to Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich, it's like the most powerful team there, and there's the only big team there. If someone else win, it will be a surprise. So it will. No one would have thought of that. So for sure, there are big teams that start as the favorite to win the championship. So I agree with the term top six. That maybe sometimes can go top eight, maybe sometimes can go big two. It depends on the season, but for sure, big six it stays every season because the big name that those clubs have don't let them think other things that starting to be a champion.
And for the first time in almost 50 years, Man United don't have European football. And in the last 10 years in English football, Chelsea did it in, I believe, 16, 17. They didn't have any European football. They finished 10th in the league and they won the league, usually with no distractions. But for example, Tottenham last year, and I see a lot of European fans and a lot of online fans posting saying how can a team in 17th in England win the Europa League and it was 17th versus 15th in Man United and Tottenham? But does that just show the strength of the English league, or does that show no matter how bad a club like Tottenham is, like they are this season, that they can still, with the money they have, with the finances they have, with the name they have, they could still. And in retrospect, last year the league was done. There was about 15, 13 points. This year it's close. It's a different story. But do you think they prioritized the Europa League, got Champions League, and did Man United, maybe you think, underestimated Tottenham and thought, okay, we can beat these guys, but and they're left out without any European football in 50 years. So my question would be is how dramatic is that in the sense to Man United not to have European football for 50 years? And does that show the level of English football from finishing 17th in your league to winning? Because it's how we say in Albanian, public social. If you had, let's say again, okay, Real Betis, they're a good club. They finish 17th, they win the Europa League. But does it show more about the club or the position, you know?
Uh, well, to be honest, I think it don't impact a lot Manchester United for not being in the European Championship this year, because for the only aspect, most of the team wants to play in Championship, in Champions League, in Europa League, and Conference League because of the money you get from those competitions. We have shown that we know that the English clubs don't suffer a lot for the money. You guys got paid a lot of money, so it will not be a big problem for them not to play in Champions League, at least this season, because next season seems like they will be in the Champions League. So no problem for them. And also to go back at the topic about winning the Europa League but being 17th and 15th in the Championship. These things happen in football, and this goes to show that sometimes the classifications is not it's not fair, because maybe you can do good in one or two finals. So it shows that some football clubs maybe don't do good in the marathon race, but when it goes to playing 90 minutes and direct elimination, it will be completely different match. And those teams with big names that have got the big names also in the starting 11, but that they know the weight of the jersey, they can do good in 90 minutes matches. So that goes to show that football. This is why we love football, because even though you maybe have done a terrible season in the championship, when you got the chance to play like 4 matches and be the champion in another competition, you do that and you do good. So yes, for sure, it shows a big level to the English Premier League, but also it shows that football can do everything.
And something I wanted to ask you earlier, you said two things, and the Barcelona Inter Milan semi-final last year, one of the best games of football we've seen in recent history. Do you believe the final really didn't show Inter Milan because there's never been a final with a 5-0 gap in the Champions League final? Do you think it would have been better Barcelona going that final and maybe we could have seen a better game, or and we see this year Bodo Glimt knock out Inter Milan, and but football doesn't work like that. If football was like maths, it'd be simple. But what do you think about that? And do you think Barca can recover from last year's semi-final? And if they can get past Arsenal, do you think they're clear favourites to win this one? If not favourites, they're the underdogs in the final against whoever's on the left side.
I think that last year in the final went the teams that deserve the most. So football has showed that whoever team score one more goal than you is the winner and goes to the final. And this is the prediction. Barcelona did a great game, but were not able to convert those chances. So Inter, in the other hand, tried to defend well and converted the chances and got the chance to play in the final. Entry to play in the final is a completely different story from what you have done from the starting of a competition till the semi-final. In the final, you will play with the details, and the details, Inter lost it in the start of the match, and after you concede one, you completely change the plan of the match. And later on, the players lose their heads a little bit, and you concede 2, 3, and this is when you start losing even more in the final. So for me, if Inter and Paris Saint-Germain played that final 10 times, maybe PSG won it only one time because of the way it goes. In the other matches, Inter would be more close and would play more better, and we will see maybe a different winner. But that is the difference in the football, to perform when it mattered the most. PSG did it in the spectacular way and won the UEFA Champions League. well deserved. Inter also well deserved the final because they defeated a scary Barcelona in the semi-final. So Inter did good and was for me the best possible final that we could have had that season because both teams deserved to go in that final.
And does it show football doesn't stand on merit or name? Because Paris had Zlatan, they had Thiago Silva, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, Verratti, all of these greats that they've had in previous years. But does it say with Kvaratskhelia as well, without having the big names, it's more how you perform as a team. And I watched when they beat Arsenal in the semi-finals, they knocked out all of England. They knocked out Liverpool, Aston Villa, Arsenal, and everyone calls them the Farmers League. It just shows that it's a team. And you would have thought maybe 2020 could have been their year, maybe when they had bigger stars. But does it show that last year's Paris and this year's Paris, there was something different about them compared to previous year, where they've lost to Chelsea and lost in the early rounds in around the 16? That this was the hardest team in Europe last year.
It shows that in football there are no big names because we, as you said, we have seen Paris Saint-Germain with Leo Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. We have seen quite a lot of big teams with big names that fail in the European stages. So also, if you want to compare it with the Albanian national team, we have shown that when we had Taulan Seferi, a small name in national team, we qualified to European Championship. But when you try to get Mucci and Mehmeti that plays in Premiership there in England, maybe you don't do that good. So it shows that football is a team that plays with 11 players, and every one of them should give 100% and compensate with each other. So this is what they do, what they should do the most, to sacrifice on the field and try to win it, not by names, but 11 players. You can say like Messi and Ronaldo in the good times, Barcelona and Real Madrid, but don't forget that all of them had great players behind of them. Ronaldo in Real Madrid had like Navas, Marcelo Ramos, Varane, Pepe, Modric, Kroos. Messi on the other hand had Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Puyol. So a lot of name behind of them. So of course, maybe one or two players get the most merit when the team wins, but for sure you need an 11 or maybe even 15 coming from the benches to be the best possible.
And I want to go straight on to Albania, but I was trying to keep it as long as possible. Two questions before we get on to Albania. So, my personal favorite final, if not, it wasn't the favorite, but one of the best finals I remember in my eyes in terms of. I enjoyed it watching it as a neutral before I started supporting Atletico. The 2014 Champions League final, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. What was your emotions watching that? And did you think Real Madrid had lost it, or there's always a chance when you have Ramos and the Galacticos in your team?
Well, to be honest, I didn't believe in the last corner. We didn't play good. We considered a trophy goal. It was a mistake from Casillas, and I was mad from that. And we didn't play. We didn't have like a lot of chances. We tried, I think, one with Bale, and we didn't do a lot of good chances to draw. But that last corner, I didn't expect it at all. I screamed a lot. I remember that. But I remember that after we drew 1-1 and the matches went to the extra time, I was for sure that Real Madrid would win it later because we were more playing with the ball and we were trying even more. And for sure it was more easy. Then we scored three more goals. So it was, La Decima, the famous La Decima that we had missed for quite a lot of years. It was good and it was relieved because it was also the first Champions League with Real Madrid for Cristiano Ronaldo, that it was also the season of his golden ball. So it was quite important for Real Madrid. It was because we failed in La Liga that season, so it was quite important. And well, 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 I enjoyed a lot.
And then again, 2016, same opposition, and a bit of a different game. I think more open game, and Cristiano Ronaldo, the last man to score the penalty and win the final.
Yeah, we we got away good with that Griezmann penalty missed in the extra time. I remember that,
Yep.
and we got lucky with that. We got lucky with our goals because I think it was a little bit of offside, to be honest. So we got lucky with that as well. And yeah, when they go to the penalties, if you see the all the kicks, we try Real Madrid kick in the right direction or in the left direction of a block, and Atletico Madrid shot in completely in the uh, other way around. And Juan Fran hit the post. Ronaldo didn't miss at all. Of course, he never does. And we celebrate like another win, another season when, don't forget, it was a bad season because we started with Rafa Benitez and we did very bad in the La Liga, and then Zidane came later. He has shown that when you're a good manager and you don't need like a lot of tactic, you only need to manage your stars in the team. We managed to go to the final and to win it very stressfully.
So, and yeah, so we talk about that. What would you say is your best memory with Real Madrid? Would it be the three-peat? Would it be La Decima? Would it be the 15th? Which one was your favorite?
It will be none of them. My favorite, it will be the road to the UEFA Champions League final in 2021, if not mistaken. That season
22.
when we 22, okay, no,
Yeah.
20, okay, 22, yeah. When we make like three comebacks against PSG, against Chelsea, against City, it was a crazy season, and every match
Uh,
you were desperate because you were losing the match for a lot of minutes, and after that, Vinicius decided to do some good. Benzema scored hat trick. Rodrigo scored twice with a head, and it was the most emotional matches in a row for me with Real Madrid, and that was the most beautiful I remember from beautiful memories from Real Madrid because a lot of emotions, a lot of remontada, and that are the matches that shows that even though you don't play good, even though if you're not the favorite, if you still believe and give 100%, always you have a chance. You even if you need just 1% of chances, as Real Madrid got against Manchester City, you can still do it, and this is why I like that season more.
yeah, the Man City game in the last minute, Benzema to turn it around. No one would have thought. I thought it's done. So let's go back to the Albanian league now. So Partizani, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the last time they won the league was 2019, right?
It will be something between 2022 or 2021, something like that. Because they
Uh,
won it in 2019 with Skander Gega in the bench, and
yeah.
later, after 2 years, it was Kolela who won it again. But I don't remember the year exactly, something like 2021 or 2022.
So Categoria Superior, the Albanian league. I want to ask you a personal question before we go into the whole league. Do you think football was better 10 years ago? Not just no VAR, not just the tactics, but do you think it was more open? Now, where people won't understand it that don't watch our league, but it's like saying a Man United getting relegated or a big club. Because before in Albania, you historically have the big teams, again, like we say, the Tiranas, the Skander Bales. What do you think has happened in the last 10, 15 years in Albanian football to change it?
Well, look, it's more like the big clubs like Partizan, Tirana have been not in the level of the names, especially Tirana. It's almost fighting for relegation every season since like 2 years ago. And also, if the football have changed in 10 years, yes, but it's changed also all around the world, not only here. Because you every season try to perfect your team, to perfect your football, and the difference between teams go closer and closer with each other. The football in Albania is not like the most beautiful to be seen. To be honest, there is a lot of time wasting, and I hate it when your team is leading. Almost every player tried to spend some time laying down on the field, faking an injury. But yes, like it because it's our football and it's football of our cities. So it's good, it's the fans are in the stadium, like not in the quite a lot of number, but they are still there. They are vocal to their local teams. So it's beautiful to see because you have got like a lot of tension. That's for sure, a lot of tension in our football, but not something spectacular in the field to be seen. Like for example, this season, maybe the two most beautiful teams to be seen in the field, yeah, are like Egnatia and Dinamo City that play some beautiful football, but also Partizani Vlasnia plays some interesting football. Elbasani as well is a surprise for this season because last year they tried to go to the Europe, one of the top four places in the Abisnet Superiore, but they didn't manage to do it. And this year they are playing for the championship. They are just 2 points difference between the leaders, so they are in the game to be champion this year. So everything is open in our football, that it goes to show like also like the Premier League here, the difference are very small. Unfortunately, here in Albania are more talks about teams agreeing with each other to let someone win or something like that. This is the saddest part because maybe we don't see some true football, but it's still is nice.
What would you say the main difference is in Albanian football since, at least for Tirana and Partizani, since they left Cemal Mustafa and going to Air Albania?
Look, there is no for me Air Albania all day, all night because it's more innovative stadium. It's a brand new stadium, bigger, comfortable, and everything. The problem has been not with the stadiums. The problem has been with the fans. As you know, in Albania, as you in Brittany well know, in Albania there are not a lot of people here because they emigrate a lot. They go a lot out of Albania, so that is the main problem. We don't have people in the stadium because of no more people in Albania. Like they say 1.8 million, but I think it's even less than that. So that's the main problem. The problem is not having people in the stands because of the migration. So that's the problem. Air Albania is the best stadium. Air Albania awaited the final Roma Feyenoord in the
Yeah,
UEFA
I remember
Conference League.
that.
So
I wanted to
yeah,
go, but
so
wait for do the tickets really difficult to get something.
so for sure it's the best stadium. Maybe the pitch have a lot of work to do because it's in an area when the sun don't shine a lot, and we know that the grass needs sun. So maybe the grass it's to be worked on it, but the stadium itself is the best, not only in Albania, but maybe one of the best even in Balkans. So for sure, Air Albania all day, all night, but we need more fans to feel it because if you play a good match there, like we usually play derby accredited, derby of Tirana Partizani, but with when you have a stadium with 22,000 capacity and you only have like 7,000 people, it looked empty.
Hmm.
So that's the main problem to fill it with people.
So, Mantho, I was asking about the Albanian league. Would you agree with me? Obviously, we weren't born in a time when Flamurtari had the famous win against Barcelona and Belgrade, and maybe for the older generation, that was the peak. But would you say, not just with the Biasi's era, but would you say Albanian football in the Categoria Superior was the best in the early 2010s to the early 2010s, early 2020s?
That's quite difficult. If it for me, it was the best period because of the nostalgia. But it's very difficult if you want to compare the best football in Albania. I think it will go with more like 2014, 2016, that gold time of Skanderbeu dominating not only Albanian football but also going twice in the group stages of UEFA Europa League, and also those years not only Skanderbeu went twice in Europa League but in group of Europa Leagues, but also those years Skanderbeu had a lot of problems with other teams here in Albania. Partizani was always a problem for them. Kuksi was always a problem for them. So maybe for me that was the golden era because we had success even in the European stages, but even here in Albania we had a lot of competition between the teams, even though Skanderbeu was a big name of that time. So also I remember when also Skanderbeu had some in the beginning of the golden era of Skanderbeu. They were also a lot of problems with the referees in the disfavor of Flamurtari. So also there were tension between that. But for me, it was maybe the best era was like that 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, where Skanderbeu dominated and also clubs like Partizani and Kuksi tried to fight them for a title, but Skanderbeu also went to the Europa League twice.
And yes, Skanderbeu had Nimago, Lainka, Shehe, Bledishkembe,
Berisha,
Berisha, Radas. He kind of looks like you a
Radas,
little bit.
Jashanica. It was scary.
And would you say that was the best an Albanian team's ever had in terms of history in Europe? Of course, if you look back, I think from Otari, you will see in the Champions League, but it was a different format then. Would you say how impressive was it that they were beating the Northern Irish teams, they were beating Hungarian teams, and to go to Dinamo Zagreb at home, Bledishkembe's free kick, we thought, oh my God, could Champions League. And if they went, they would have had Bayern Munich and Arsenal, and I think Olympiacos in that group. And yeah, but how big an achievement was it? I was there in the stadium, the first ever time an Albanian team had qualified for the Europa League.
It was legendary for Albanian football. It was the first team to go like in those group stages of UEFA Europa League and did it with beautiful matches, qualifiers one by one, winning. Also, I remember that match versus Dinamo Zagreb, that free kick from Bredish Kombi. So it was for sure, a legendary run for Albania, and they did it twice, not once. So the best era for me, the best team that we ever had in Albania, it was that Skanderbe, doing everything right until the moment they decided to destroy everything with those fixed matches. But it was the best era for football, Albanian football, the best era for Skanderbeu, the best era for fans as well. And that era, let's not forget that era inspired also the rivals like Partizani and Kuksi to try and do good in the European stages as well. Kuksi came close to group phases. Partizani won a qualifier round in UEFA Champions League, that legendary match against Ferencvaros, if I'm not wrong, when we won with penalties there, Alban Hoxha with a Panenka, the goalkeeper. So it was a legendary run, and also that just because inspired from Skanderbeu. So for sure, the best era, the best qualifiers, it was Skanderbeu, those gold years.
And something I want to just wrap up shortly because I think it's gone now. But 2014 Albania's qualifiers, that was the best period not only for the league but also national team. And what do you remember the most about Beckenbauer's goal in Portugal, then the draw in Denmark in Elbasan, and then do you remember clearly 2014 in Belgrade, what had happened with the drone and everything?
Yeah. I remember like the goal of Beckenbauer versus Portugal. I remember I was in a bar with the family, and I was not expecting anything from Albania. Like, let's be honest, you played Portugal away. Do you expect to score against them and to win? No, I remember that goal very well and said, okay, don't celebrate. We score one for sure. We will concede four. But no, I was wrong. We did it. We did very well. We managed to get that win. Against Denmark, I don't remember it very well, to be honest, but for sure, Denmark, it was the team of our level, maybe a little bit better, and it went what we thought it went. And against Serbia, it was one of the best matches that Albanian was producing until the drawn moment. Remember, we were playing the ball so good, we were controlling the game, and Mavrai, if I'm not wrong, went close to scoring header not once but twice.
Mm.
So it was worked even in those corners. De Biasi worked a lot with those corner kicks, and we were close to scoring goals. So till the 40 minutes, something like that, that the draw came, Albania was dominating and was playing like it was their home. So it was good for us, and it was seeing good, and for sure the goal would come in the second half for us. Then the draw came. I remember it because it was the TV. They didn't show it very well. They didn't show it at all, almost of the time. Then we saw the chaos fighting in the stadium, and those moments. I don't know why, I don't know how, but you got feelings of proud from the team, what is doing in the field, because you see like in the stadium plus minus 40,000 people. I don't know how much that stadium had when every one of them is shouting against you, against your country. You see like 11 players on the field and maybe 20 from the bench fighting for each other against thousands of thousands, against the police, because the police was also there helping
Yeah.
Serbians, against the fans, against the players, all for the symbol and for the proud of being Albania. So that was beautiful to follow. And remember, we stayed on the TV in the TV like till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, just to know what is happening with the team. Is everything okay? Did they come back? And then later hearing that the referee and the UEFA decided that because Albania didn't came back in the field to play, Albania loses the match in 3-0 because the players didn't want to come back in a field when they got beaten attacked from the Serbian fans, from the Serbian players, from the Serbian police. That was what was the most normal thing ever that you expect. And we felt like okay, we know that against Serbia it is a rivalry between years and a hate between years. But wait, if UEFA makes this decision, there is something wrong with it. And for for our good luck, Duka did something good and decided to take this case in the CAS in Switzerland. And later on, we won it. We got 3 points, the 3 points that for us were the golden ones to qualify us for the first European Championship in France. Where was it?
2016 France, yes.
France, yes, true. So it was our first big national championship. But for me, in my opinion, we did good.
And then we go to play Armenia and Elbasan. We are losing 1-0. They had Mkhitaryan on the pitch. Skelzengashi and Mavrai scored the winner. Then we go, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we went away to Denmark. We drew 0-0. We played Portugal at home, lost 1-0 in a beautiful game in the last minute corner,
In the
just like
last minute,
Atletico.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
just like that final 2014. And
And also,
yeah.
we lost
Oh,
also with Serbia in Elbasan Arena 2-0.
I was getting there, yes.
So it was like a little bit awkward because the match was a disaster in the idea of the organization, because the fear of the problems and everything, they
Yeah.
let only the VIPs to be in the stadium. They let the some kids from schools to be there. So it was a football with no atmosphere. That in the end of the day we lost it. Andrew famous from that match. It was a Shkodran guy that it was there to follow the match, but after the match, the match from the lose, he goes against politicals and he says like it's normal to lose a football match because they are 11, we are 11, and that's normal. But to let them after
Well,
what they did to us in Belgrade, to let them keep play safely and play like not safely, but play like cool and chill like that, it's unforgettable because they didn't deserve that of what they did to us in Belgrade, and that was the famous one. But nowadays we still mention it usually.
we'll never
So
forget.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was it's something that we didn't like because the Serbia guy got treated, Serbians got treated better than they deserved in that time.
And the reason I went here, I was going to talk about Albania national team regardless, but we qualified. And would you say Balisi blew up the patriotism not only in Albania but worldwide? He blew it up to another level.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, he made us again for a flag that this time it was not like red and black, and
Yeah.
we're used to, but it was an autochthonous one, even better, even more beautiful that we usually are used to it. So for sure, Ballisti. I think Ballisti for sure. And you have heard the history of how he did it. Like he went
Yeah,
there
yeah, I've
days
watched the
before,
documentary,
he
everything.
stayed outside, so it was a big sacrifice that only for what did he get back? Nothing. He only got back the love of Albanians and that's it, and the respect. So he only did it because that he felt like that and he loved to do that. And he also got treated from Serbians, got deported, got arrested. So it was a lot of problems that came back, but he decided to do it because he felt it was the right thing to do, and He did it for the Albanian country, and this is what I think, Andri, is the most patriotic thing to be done when you show love to your country and don't expect things back to you. Like he didn't post it before that I will go there, I'm your superhero. He didn't show off. He just went there, sacrificed everything he had, and made us proud. When I say us, he didn't made just 2 million people in Albania, but we made a lot of more millions whenever in the world they are. So for sure, one of the most patriotic moments in our Albanian history. Like,
And
like, like they after that, more than 20 songs were made for that drum. Remember?
yeah,
So
I followed it very strongly, and it was one of the proudest things I've ever seen. And like I said, people ask me in England, where are you from? and they say Albania. I say Albania. They say we don't know. I say it's on top of Greece and next to Italy. Now they know where Albania is. So Euro 2016, Romania, Switzerland, and France. So to get the home nation is hard enough. To play our brothers or Albania B at the time, and then to play Romania. Look, there's one important point there in the Switzerland game I want to talk about. You could say how people are saying with Sakosha here. Was it Berisha's fault with the jump? Was it a bad decision? But also Skelzengashi missed. So Pilo the Bayrami missed.
Bayrami.
But we don't forget this. But as time goes on, you miss in football. So talk about that one, and we didn't expect anything from it. To win 1-0 against Romania was amazing. I know Skelzengashi said before the tournament we can get 7 points, but like you said, you have to be realistic. So, yeah.
Listen, to be honest, okay, against Switzerland, we were unlucky because Loritana got away with a red card. So we conceded a goal, unlucky goal with Berisha. Tana got away with a red card. We had our chance to draw with Srezengashi, but as we said, any player missed. We attack a lot because you missed, but it's not easy playing in that competition. So, but no regrets for that match. Only for me, the only regret is the Loritana red card, because maybe things would have gone different, because we showed that we play good against Switzerland, and we had the potential to draw against them. And don't forget, it was Switzerland with Jerdan Shaqiri and Granit Xhaka in their peak. Don't forget this thing. So it was a good Albania in that match. Then came the second match. The second match against
France and Marseille.
No other than France in Marseille. And how did that match go, my friend? We were defending very well against them. We tried to score against them with Mavrai again with a header, but we didn't get lucky. And we just conceded, like, if I'm not wrong, something between 86, 87,
90,
something like that.
90 and 96.
90,
the very
worse.
last minute. Yeah.
So the host team that went to the final that year only managed to beat us in the 90 minutes. It shows what a good team we had that year, not only from the players, but from the coach as well, that managed to fight France. I don't remember well if it was before or after this match that we even beat France in Elbasan Arena with a goal of Kace.
That was for a friendly before, yes.
Yeah, friendly, before. So,
yeah.
So we looked like we could play France easily, and easily managed to defeat that in a very, very late minutes, thanks to Griezmann and Payet, if I'm not wrong. So,
yeah.
So and later after that, after we were happy being defeated by France in that way, we played Romania. That it was, in fact, our realest chance to get the first point in a big European championship. We got even more. We scored a goal with Armand Sadiku with a header, and we got 3 points, our first and only victory in a European championship. I remember it was a crazy celebration here in Albania, because who would have thought a win in European championship? So 3 points, and we got eliminated with our head high, because we showed good, perfect fans. Every stadium was full of red and black. We showed good football, good character, and we got 3 points on the first victory. So it was a good Euro championship for us.
And we had the opportunity to show the world in our first ever attempt, especially against France, how well we played. Everyone complimented us after, but the Romania win. And like you said, maybe if we could have got a draw with France, a draw with Switzerland, maybe just because of the third place we could have gone, but it was more than you could have ever expected. So the reason I asked this, because I said I was going to go to the national team, in 16-17, and then in, I think, 1920 or in lockdown, I know they played Wolfsburg, but Skanderbeu had Partizan Belgrade in the second time of being in the Europa League. Was there a lot of tension there? Because I know the stadium was full in Elbasan. They drew 0-0. They lost 2-0 in Partizan. Do you remember that well? And obviously the fans got fined to then close the stadium against Dynamo Kiev. Do you remember that moment?
It was more like it was promised like a tension situation, but it was not something like that big. Maybe the police did the good thing there, and everything was under control. I remember more problems we had with Legia Warszawa, if I'm not wrong, when Kuksi played here.
Shocked us though.
Yeah. So they had some problems near the stadium. But no, with Skanderbeu, it was not something like big. So it was good because, they are the UEFA competitions and they don't allow a lot of problems to happen during that their competition. So it was not a big problem for us, not a big problem for them. Of course, more tension, I would say, it came later when Tirana played with Besiktas, with the Turkish Besiktas here in Albania, that got some problems, some fights after the stadium, and also problems were between Dinamo City, Jagiellonia this summer that we left because of what the Polish guys did. The ultras of Jagiellonia, they pissed in the memoriam of our national hero Skanderbe, which it was something that quite a lot of Albanians didn't like at all. They managed to do that before the match, and they managed to go in the stadium without a problem because to everyone listening to us, Dinamo City, even though is one of the big names in Albania, don't have like a large number of fans. They even no group of ultras, But also Dinamo City is part of teams of the capital teams like Partizan and Tirana. Partizan and Tirana have the most ultras, and after they saw the video, they decided to attack after the match. And after the match was done, one group of ultras, mostly ultras Goris, attacked nearly after you left the stadium. Directly after you left the stadium, their bus the jam got shattered, and like that. And also the problem came even after they left Nanteresa Square when they got fight for the first time, and then when the Poland guys got beaten. They also got attacked before going to the airport, Nanteresa National Airport Arenas, from Tirana fanatics that are Tirana ultras, and also from Ultras Goris as well. Partizani ultras that usually, in a normal day, those guys hate each other, but that day they came together, became friends in that way, to attack the Polish Ultras Jagiellonia, who, to be honest, do not forget, are very pro-Serb and pro-Russian, and also screams like Kosovo, Serbia, and things like that. So it was quite a war in the way to not only for the clubs now, for Jagiellonia, Dinamo City, but it was a war more for national flags and proud.
I was literally going to say that, and you have the points, and I followed it from you as well. So, Euro 2024, do you think Poland and Czech, before the group was made, do you think this was impossible again, or do you think it was a poor Czech and a poor Poland? Because we looked unreal at home. Do you think it's a bit of both? It was a good Albania, poor Poland, because we managed to beat them at home. We managed to beat Czech 3-0, I think it was. It was one of the best footballs I've seen us play, and then obviously. What did you think of us winning that group, which was also the first time we ever won a qualifying group?
We got lucky in that group because when we got the draw, we thought Czechia and Poland for sure are better than us, and we go furthermore. But in those qualifiers, we had a lot of luck because Silvinho introduced in our national team Yasir Asani, a player that came out from Partizan Albania, and no one thought it would be part of Albanian team. Yasir Asani not only managed to play for Albania, but it was that guy that it reminded me of Arjen Robben. Robben used to cut inside, shoot and score, and this is what Asani did to Poland, to Czechia, to almost every our opponent in that qualifier session. Also, Poland and Czechia were maybe not in their best possible time. Also, we got lucky in our match here in Albania with Czechia because they scored first. They got ruled out offside, and later on they were punished with a red card. And this is why we won 3-0. When I remember, Taulan Seferi scored 2 goals like just a meter away from the goal. Even he got messed with his legs, but still managed to score. So it was quite luck for us that qualifying because we scored also a lot of goals from the distance, not only with Yasir Asani, but Nadi Barami scored the equalizer against Czechia away. So that gave us a very important point in the coming matches. So we were lucky. We did good as well. We played good football. We showed that we could strike in different ways, but we got lucky as well.
And Euro 2024, because the quality of Italy lacked, and I say this, every time we are going to qualify for a European or a World Cup, there are the giants, like I said, in the Premier League, the top 6. So pot 1 will always be England, Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, all the big nations. Then pot two sometimes can have a Croatia or Italy, depending on how poor the top one have been, and you'll have a Poland and Sweden. So for sure, unless Albania can do something special like they did Euro 2024, we are always a third pot nation. Pot one and pot two will always be taken. And Euro 2024, I didn't believe this group. Italy, Spain, and Croatia, the group of death. But I feel in one sense, we were proud to show how we could fight against the big teams. We made history with Nedim Bayrami against Italy. We drew 2-2 in the last minute where we played the best football for the first half and it just went away. But what was your memory of Euro 2024 and the group of death?
It was a memory that, you see it's impossible, for real, it's impossible. But deep down, you think like, what if? and that what if got even more when we see Bayrami scoring after just 23 seconds against Italy, and you hope, wait, maybe we can get the 3 points against them. But I think in the first match, the emotions, the big stage, and maybe we didn't manage to do good to avoid that comeback from Italy, because it was not the best Italy. Maybe it's the worst Italy ever that we are seeing till today. So we got unlucky, no experience, emotions a lot, and we didn't manage to get some points, even though we did good. We could equalize with Reymana in the second half, if you remember that chance. So it was that match that went 50-50 almost all the time. I remember that people were like sad because we had the advantage and couldn't manage to keep it, but we also were realistic that it's Italy, it's a big name, and you could expect that. The second match again, it was Croatia, it was Mantho. We scored again the first one. We got again
We went in
overcome
front.
because
Yeah.
We again came back. The Croatia came back 2-1, and then in the last minute, I remember, because I was at work here in Albania when the first half was done. They sent to me like, now go in the Air Albania Stadium to do some live reporting, And I was not expecting. I just saw on my screen 1-1, 1-2 for Croatia. I was like, no way, we are unlucky. And when I was ready to go home because we lost, there will be no live broadcasting. I see like 2-2. Whoa! I come back and people comes out of the bars happy as hell. They scream like, "Whoa, we did good, we got a point, crazy Jasula, hey," things like that. And then I dare to ask them, now I said we have a point, we will need 4 to hope for a qualification, and we play Spain. What do you think? A lot of people were saying we're gonna beat Spain. I didn't believe what they were saying. I were not believing my ears, but we were hoping for that, of course. And the match against Spain, I didn't following a lot because also I was again in the city doing those interviews. I didn't see the match a lot, but I remember we had some chances there. People went mad. It was Broya, I think, who had a chance, something like that. But then we conceded. So let's be realistic. It was from the beginning. It was almost impossible for us, but we did good in those matches. Even though some people said that Silvinho showed himself a coward because he should have been more brave to attack more. I don't think so. I think Albanian main plan was to defend well and maybe try to score in counters. So again, for me, it was a great experience in the European Championship, and now I hope to have a third European Championship experience after 2 years now. Because not only because of the qualifiers of the big names we have now, but also because of the Nations League, because we are in a League C, so we should have an easy road.
Okay, World Cup qualifiers 2026. Were you surprised to see Serbia and Albania in the group again?
Surprised, no, but I said, no way, man. We have Serbia and England in the same group. I think we're going to finish third. And fortunately for us, we finished second. We did good. We beat Serbia. That was something like we have never done before in the field. And Albania showed again a great qualifier group. We did a great run. Also, I had some of matches I didn't like a lot. Against Latvia, we didn't do good. Against Andorra, in a way, we didn't do good at all. but it was a team that struggled but managed to qualify, and that was the most important thing. For me, it got lucky again because it was the easiest Serbia we have ever had as a rival, because they have problems between themselves and political problems as well. So we got lucky with the qualifiers, but we did good against England away and here in Albania. So something like make me believe more in this team.
And talk about that there. The win in Leskovac was unbelievable. But do you think it played to our advantage that they didn't have hooligans? Of course, they sang the songs and they chanted the death for us. But do you think it was an advantage to us? They put us in a 7,000 stadium, and it was not too like Belgrade 10 years ago.
It was a match when the most important thing also for Serbia, also for Albania, was just to have no problems. And for me, they didn't care a lot about the result because, and yes, it helped us a lot that they were no ultras, because ultras would have put another pressure to our team, and that would support more and more Serbia teams. So no ultras in the stand, it was a big plus for us, but it lost the beautiful of the game. So we managed to score, that's true, but in the first half we suffered a lot against Serbia. We could have conceded some goals, but we got lucky. We didn't concede. We scored, and in the second half we played our game and we were great.
And the game against Poland, we could talk for hours about this, but what do you think? We were the underdogs, massive underdogs, and I think in recent history now, Poland Albania is a competitive rivalry and a rivalry off the pitch that is starting to build. But Poland Albania, what did you think? And do you go, was it 5 Pilo, was it 5 Bayrami, or we're just going against a gigantic nation away and we did the best we could because we played amazing football in Arbor Hoja? They made the mistake. Poland's goals were not mistakes. Our goal was a mistake and we took the chance.
Listen, to everyone that have tried to do some sport, they know that you cannot be a hero from zero to a hero directly. You cannot dream of beating Poland, a big name, again away in Warsaw, just like that. When you go like you need to defend, and Slovenia did well with that formation 4-4-2 with Bayrami behind the attackers. We scored thanks to the mistake from the defense. But later on, also we conceded from both mistakes. I think both of the goals of Poland were our mistakes. Trakosha in the first one that didn't manage to get the ball, and in the second one it was Aslani who didn't close it time Zelinski, that we know that has a good shoot from the outside of the zone. But let's be honest, from the way that it came, of course we are sad that we got eliminated. But before of the match, to think that it was Poland, a big name, then for sure we expect a miracle if we could qualify. We saw that we could be the miracle to defeat Poland, but at the way that come, it shows that our team still needs more minutes and more experience in international level. No mistake for me. For me, there was no mistake from Silvinho, no mistake to believe to Bayrami and to believe to Pilo, because Bayrami has shown that is one of his favorite players, and Bayrami found himself in the good position, but unfortunately he didn't score. Pilo, for me, I don't know what people hate a lot, that what Pilo got there instead of Muci, because Pilo was more of a midfielder, defender, trying to attack, and that was the plan, because Pilo came when the match was 1-1. So we tried to enforce our defense, and if we could score in the counter, okay. If not, we could be safer in defense. That was the logic of that substitution.
Very quick fire for you, bro. Who do you think will be the next Albanian nation and first to possibly qualify for the Conference League? Not nation, but squad.
From the Conference League, it should be something between Egnatia.
And just before I let you go, Kosovo, Turkey. What do you think?
Great game from Kosovo, but unlucky because they tried to score, they hit the post as well, but they've shown that they are a good team that can surprise anyone. And now for me, the most difficult part starts now, because everyone saw what they are capable of, and now everyone will have an eye on Kosovo.
And the realist Gazetar, realist interviewer in Albania, what's your message to your fans and everyone that supports you?
Well, just enjoy football, enjoy sport, and have fun. Thank you, Andrew. It was a pleasure. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Sorry I kept it too long. Thank you so much.
Don't worry. Thank you.